It's Don Tapscott, the company is Engineera, and the book is Grown Up Digital, How the Net Generation is Changing Your World.
Fantastic. Thank you for joining us today. I was wondering, first of all, if you could tell us a bit more about who is the net generation in Canada.
Well, the net generation demographically is the baby boom echo. Kids born between 1978 and 1997 inclusive. There's 8 million of them. There are 7.8 million baby boomers. So the way that I define them, they're actually bigger than the baby boom. And what makes them a real force for change, though, is not just their demographic muscle. This is the first generation to come of age in the digital age. They're bathed in bits. And I'm a digital immigrant, they're digital natives. And because of that, they think differently. And they're very different as consumers.
Now, you came out earlier with a book called Growing Up Digital. Mm-hmm. Are there any key differences in how you identify these net generation?
Well, when I wrote Growing Up Digital a dozen years ago, I defined the generation the same way. And I haven't been right about everything in my life, but shockingly, that book has enormous relevance and resonance today, a dozen years later. And there were a number of ideas in that book that are still true and very important. I'll give you an example. The idea that time online is taken mainly away from watching TV. These kids watch a lot less TV and they watch it differently. The boomers, their parents, watch 24 hours a week of television growing up. And these kids, when they come home, they turn on their computer and they're in 3 different windows talking to their friends, and they got 3 magazines open, and they're listening to an MP3 file and texting on the side with a video game. Oh yeah, and they're doing their homework at the same time. And in the background, the television may be going on, but it's kind of like ambient media, sort of like music.
Right.
And when they're online, of course, they're reading and thinking and organizing and authenticating and composing their thoughts and telling their stories and scrutinizing things, and even with video games, remembering things, developing strategies, and this is actually affecting their brains.
Well, you talk in the book also about the 8 norms for the net generation. You touched on scrutinizing and the entertainment piece in that last answer. Which are the most important of those 8 norms for marketers hoping to make a connection with the net generation?
Wow, that's a tough call. Because a bunch of them are very central to marketing. I'll just give you a few. The notion of freedom. They want, for example, freedom of choice. When I was a kid, I had 3 media choices. As an example, these kids have millions of choices. They want to customize everything. I never got to customize the Mickey Mouse Club when I was a kid. It's a generation of scrutinizers. So as a company selling products and services, you're going to be naked. And so you need to make sure that you have good value, because value is evidence like never before. A generation with very strong ethics, actually a sense of integrity is very critical. So you need to have integrity kind of baked into your DNA. It's also, for marketers, the generation who wants to have fun. What we found out is that 60% of them in Canada saying having fun with a product or service is as important as what the product or service does.
Nice.
So companies shouldn't be selling products and services. They should be creating experiences, of which fun are part of the experience. They want things to happen fast. Speed is a big norm. You know, and some people have a pejorative spin on this, immediate gratification. I think a lot of their expectations for things to happen quickly are legitimate.
Yeah.
And it's a generation that wants to collaborate. I say to marketers, don't have websites, build communities. Don't promote things. Try and create deep engagement and collaboration. You put all those together and you have a new paradigm in marketing starting to emerge.